What's up you guys, how are you doing? Welcome to Mantravadis. I'm Sarat Mantravadi. I make videos about finance and investing. In this video, I'll explain what an IRA is and why Roth account is better than traditional account. While 60% or 29% of taxpayers own individual retirement accounts, IRAs, only about 10% have Roth accounts. Most of the accounts, that is 23%, are traditional IRA accounts. I think Roth accounts are much better than traditional accounts and more people should have them. Roth IRA is a retirement account. IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account. It's named after late Senator William Roth of Delaware. He was Joe Biden's colleague and fellow senator for 25 years apparently. Roth IRA is the federal government's way of encouraging people to save by giving them a tax incentive. It is like a brokerage account you can open with Vanguard, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, or even M1 on your app in less than 15 minutes. You can open it right now, after this video. Just like you would in a brokerage account, you must transfer money into it from your bank account and then invest that money. A Roth account is just like a container. You must put investments into them. You should not just leave it as cash. You can legally leave it as cash, but you would want to invest them in high growth investments to benefit from the tax shield it provides. To understand how the tax incentive works, let's compare a traditional IRA with a Roth IRA. There are a few other type of IRA accounts, but covering those would make this video confusing. So let's just focus on Roth IRA. In a traditional IRA, you don't pay any tax at the time of contributing money to the account. You only pay tax on the withdrawal. In a Roth account, you pay taxes at the outset, at the time of contribution, but your withdrawals are tax-free. In both traditional and Roth IRA, you won't have to pay any taxes on the returns. Paying taxes at the beginning versus paying them at the end when you are withdrawing also makes a difference. Let us compare investing $6,000 per year in a Roth IRA account versus investing $6,000 in traditional IRA account. Current combined limit for contributions to both Roth and traditional IRAs is 6,000 if you're less than 50 years old and 7,000 if you're over 50 years old. And you can contribute only earned income. These are the sources of income that are considered as earned income, and these are not. Even though it's a retirement account that's meant to serve you for 30 or 40 years into the future, if you need to withdraw money in an emergency, you can do that easily with a Roth account, or at least more easily with a Roth account than a traditional IRA account. Because you contribute after-tax investment dollars into your Roth account, assuming you are in the 24% tax bracket, you will have $4,560 as principal at the outset. In your traditional account, you'll have $6,000 with no taxes paid at the outset. If you want to do an early withdrawal, by the way, any withdrawals made before 59.5 years is considered as an early withdrawal. So if you want to do an early withdrawal, say after 7 years, you have to pay taxes and a 10% penalty on the whole amount in your traditional IRA. So you'll get back $5,954 after a tax deduction of $2,165 and a penalty of $902. However, with a Roth account, you can withdraw all of your initial contribution of $4,560 without any tax or penalty. You only have to pay tax and penalty on any amount over and above that. So you'll get back $6,076 after paying a tax of $551 and a penalty of $230. So you have more withdrawal flexibility with a Roth account. Why invest your savings in a Roth account at all? Why not just use a normal taxable account? Because money accumulates faster in a retirement account because of the tax deferral on earnings. For instance, if you contribute $6,000 starting at the age of 40, by 65 you will accumulate $349,000, assuming a 6% rate of return. That's about $70,000 more than you would save in a normal taxable account. If you start at age 18, you can save over 1.5 million by the time you are 65. That's over 550,000 more than you would in a normal taxable account. I made another video explaining why it's important to start investing early to benefit from the power of compounding. Roth IRA is of course better than a taxable account, but it is also better than a traditional IRA account. With the same assumptions, that is, start compounding 6,000 at age 60 and get an annual return of 6% assuming a 24% tax bracket. In traditional IRA, you will save $333,000, but in a Roth IRA, you will accumulate $349,000. So that's about $16,000 more. And if you start at the age of 18, you will have 1.5 million in your Roth account and about 1.4 million in a traditional IRA by the time you're 65. So that's $100,000 more. In addition to flexibility on withdrawals, there are two other reasons why Roth IRA account is the best place to save and invest. First, it's a hedge against future tax increases. If you think you'll be in a higher or the same tax bracket in future, it is better to save as much as you can in a Roth account over a taxable account or even a traditional IRA. There are two reasons why you can expect to pay higher taxes in future. One, if you're young, you can reasonably expect to earn more and be in a higher tax bracket in future. According to conventional wisdom, we should be in a lower tax bracket when we retire, as we won't have earnings as much. But in reality, our home is often paid off, so you don't have any mortgage deductions, and the kids are long gone, so you don't have any dependents and cannot claim credits and other tax benefits. So it is very much possible you won't be in a lower tax bracket after retirement. The second reason why taxes might go up is government expenditure. Government is very likely to need more revenues in future to pay off its huge debts. For that reason, I think taxes will have to go up in future. Even if the government does not absolutely need to increase taxes, who knows what the political environment in the country will be in 30 to 40 years from now and how that will impact tax policy. So Roth IRA account is a very good hedge against future tax increases. Saving in IRA is easier from a psychological point of view. In addition to tax increases, there is another reason to invest in Roth account. You can claim your contributions to a traditional IRA as a tax deduction, but you cannot claim your contribution to a Roth IRA as a tax deduction. So traditional IRA saves you more money now, but Roth IRA will save you money only in the long run. By giving you a tax benefit only in future and by not allowing a tax deduction now, a Roth IRA nudges you, almost forces you to save more. To save as much in a traditional IRA as you would in a Roth IRA, you would have to be disciplined enough to invest your tax savings every year without fail. I made another video about why it's hard to save and how to overcome that. Have a look here. So even from a behavioral economics point of view, it is better to choose a Roth account over a taxable account or a traditional IRA account. Thanks a lot for staying until the end. If you like my content, please hit the like button and consider subscribing.